They can get all the players that they want. They can have the highest payroll in baseball. They can have the best possible team. But if Scott Service cannot manage his pitchers properly, then all of that talent and all of that commitment to building a winning team, it doesn't matter. So you've heard the rumors all around that Bryan Reynolds is the player that the Mariners might be going for, but however, it is unclear if the Pirates actually do want to trade him, and that price tag that the Pirates might be asking for does include at least a starting pitcher, and I would imagine that they're going to ask for a lot more than just a starting pitcher, because even I would think giving up Emerson Hancock or any of our pitching prospects would be a little bit risky. But I think they're asking a lot more than that. And sometimes I even have a feeling that Jared Kelenic could be a part of that. And I don't necessarily want to give up on him yet, just because I think he does have the potential to be an all-star. It's just whatever is through here, that's his issue. And he just has to fix that. And as soon as he does, he can blossom into an all-star. But however, I actually do have an idea on what I think the Mariners can do for this offseason that will help them get to either the playoffs or at least even win the World Series or at least get to one. So this move I'm thinking of, they don't have to trade. They don't have to spend a boatload of money. And actually, this move is absolutely free. So here's what I'm thinking. Scott Service, stop making terrible pitching decisions, because that's what cost you in the playoffs against the Houston Astros. And I can prove it to you. Let me just take a look at it right now. So first off, the Mariners had a 6-3 lead with Logan Gilbert pitching, and although he did have a couple shaky innings, he did settle down and actually pitched pretty well. And with only 84 pitches, I do think that he could have had at least one more inning, but no, Scott Service just pulled him out immediately. And the next pitcher that they brought in was Matt Brash, who actually did pretty well. He did close out that inning pretty solid, but then he shuffled for Diego Castillo. He gave up a hit, but he still got out of it. And then he just kept going and going and going with Andres Munoz and Paul Sewald, where that's where the problems began. And then eventually that Robbie Ray decision, where because of that, the Mariners lost the game. And I think this could have been easily prevented if Scott Service just commit to a pitcher and just let him finish the game, at least pitch a couple innings, not just go through all of them, because he went through 6 pitchers in that game. By doing that, you're putting a lot of risk, not only putting wear and tear on your pitchers, but you're also wasting through the pitching options that you do have. And let's say if you do go into extra innings and you keep just burning through your bullpen, you're going to have nothing left. And that did happen in Game 3. So in Game 3 of the American League Division Series, Scott Service went through 10 pitchers. He did pull out George Kirby in the 7th inning, which was fine because he had 92 pitches, so I guess he just didn't want to burn through him. And you did trust the bullpen. And granted that the offense was terrible because they scored a whopping 0 runs, but you just went through like all these pitchers in the bullpen, and you didn't even let them even pitch a little bit, even more than 0.1 innings. And those pitchers that didn't really get to pitch enough were Diego Castillo, which I don't really like him that much, and Matthew Boyd. You are risking the amount of options that you have if you just keep burning through them in the extra innings. And it got to the point that Robbie Ray was the final option. And if that game somehow went any longer, then it would have gotten to the point that you may have to use a position player to be a pitcher. And that's something you don't want to do in the bullpen. Because look at the Houston Astros. They had Luis Garcia, where Dusty Baker put him in, and he let him pitch 5 innings. And although it was a gutsy call, he still took that risk and he pulled through. I think if Scott Service at least trusts any of these pitchers that are doing pretty well and not just yank them out like every other inning or just like every single inning, then maybe there will be a chance to win. Because if you're not letting the hot hand pitch, then if someone else comes in, that gives the offense on the other team an opportunity to score runs on them. And here's the thing. The Mariners can just add whatever they want. They can get all the players that they want. They can have the highest payroll in baseball. They can have the best possible team. But if Scott Service cannot manage his pitchers properly, then all of that talent and all of that commitment to building a winning team, it doesn't matter. So bottom line, and this is just my quick thoughts, while everyone's talking about, should we get Bryan Reynolds? Should we get someone in the outfield to replace Jared Kelenic? Should we just bank on Jared Kelenic? Do we need to get someone in the bullpen, which we do? I'm right here just thinking, if Scott Service just manages his pitchers properly and does a better job managing them and not just burn through the entire pitching rotation and bullpen, then maybe it won't lead to these kind of meltdowns. But hey, that's my thoughts. I'm just a fan. So let me know in the comments what you think the Mariners should do in the offseason.